Hi students, 12th Standard Accountancy, Chapter-6, Retirement and Death of the Partner. Exercise sum number 6. Chandru, Vishal and Ramanan are partners in a firm sharing profit and losses equally. Their balance sheet as on 31st March 2018. Old balance sheet is given in the question. Ramanan retired on 31st March 2019. Listen, there are three partners, Chandru, Vishal and Ramanan. They share their profit and losses equally. Okay. From the three partners, Ramanan retired on 31st March 2019. So, at the time of retirement or at the date of retirement, the partnership firm should be reevaluated their assets and liabilities. So, they have made some adjustment. Okay. So, first adjustment is machinery is valued at 1,50,000 rupees. Listen here, whenever they have given here some adjustment, we have to compare this adjustment with the box. Okay, so machinery is valued 1,50,000 rupees. In the box we have machinery 1,20,000 rupees in the question on asset side. Okay, so it will be increased from 1,20,000 to 1,50,000 rupees. Machinery is an asset item. So, asset item increases 30,000 rupees in asset item increases. Whenever asset item increases, revaluation account is to be credited, concerned asset account is to be debited. So, from the given information, we need to pause the necessary journal entry and prepare the revaluation account. So, the journal entry is, what is the journal entry? The dated on 2018 March 31. Machinery accounted at 30,000 rupees to revaluation account 30,000 rupees. Listen here carefully. Whenever asset item increases, revaluation account is to be credited. Concerned asset account is to be debited. Okay. The next account is next transaction is value of furniture brought down by 10,000 rupees. Let's check the question. Here they have given the furniture account. Yes, in the box, within the box, they have given furniture account 60,000 rupees in the asset side, on asset side. Okay, here on the adjustment, valuation of furniture brought down by 10,000 rupees. Brought down means it decreases. So, furniture account decreases from 60,000 to 50,000. So, what is the difference between 10,000 rupees value of furniture decreases? So, whenever furniture account is an asset account, furniture account decreases, asset account also decreases. So, whenever asset account decreases, revaluation account is to be debited, furniture account is to be credited. Okay, 10,000 rupees entered. Then, the provision for doubtful debts should be increased to 5,000 rupees. Okay, listen, provision for doubtful is an asset item. Provision for doubtful debts means loss. So, if you get loss, asset value also decreased. Okay, so whenever asset value decreases, revaluation account is to be debited. We have to compare with old provision into new provision. The difference between old and the new provision, we get 2,000 rupees between 5,000 and 3,000. Okay, so what is the journal entry? Whenever asset account decreases, revaluation account is to be debited. So, revaluation account at 2,000 rupees to provision for doubtful debts 2,000 rupees. Then the investment of 30,000 rupees is not recorded in the books, is not be recorded now. Is to be recorded now. Okay, so the partners Chandru, Vishal and Ramanan invested 30,000 rupees for business purpose. Okay, but they forgot to enter into their accounts book. Later it comes to their knowledge. Then at the time of retirement of a partner, at the time of revaluation of assets and liabilities only, it comes to their knowledge. They forget to recorded 30,000 rupees investment. So, investment is an asset item. Now, it is to be recorded now. Okay. At the time of revaluation, they recorded unrecorded investment 30,000 rupees. So, asset account increased. Whenever asset account increases, revaluation account is to be credited. Okay, so revaluation account at 30,000 revaluation account is to be credited 1000 rupees and concern asset account is to be debited, which means investment account is to be debited 30,000 rupees. So what are the instructions they given in the question? As per that, we pause the journal entry. After pause the journal entry, we have to leave some space for one transaction. We leave the space. After leave the space, we have to prepare the ledger account for revaluation account. Okay. So listen, where is the revaluation account occurs in the journal entry, as per that we are going to post into the ledger account on the revaluation account. Let's check the first transaction. Where is revaluation account here? It is on credit side. Revaluation account is on credit side. So you go to credit side of the revaluation account and write the opposite account, that is machinery account. Okay, machinery account 30,000 rupees. On credit side you always started with the word buy. Buy machinery account 30,000 rupees entered. Let's check the next transaction. Where is revaluation account here? Whether it is debit side or credit side, revaluation account is on debit side. Okay, so you go to debtor side of the revaluation account. Okay, and write the opposite account. Which is the opposite account from the revaluation account? Furniture account is the opposite account. So to furniture account 10,000 rupees have to enter on debtor side of the revaluation account. So to furniture account 10,000 rupees entered. The next transaction, let's check the next transaction on the journal entry. Where is revaluation account is occurs? It is on debtor side. Okay, so you go to debtor side of the revaluation account and write the opposite account. Which is the opposite account from the revaluation account? Provision for doubtful debts 2,000 rupees. So you have to write to provision for doubtful debts 2,000 rupees entered. Okay, then let's check the next transaction, which means fourth transaction. Where is revaluation account here? Revaluation account is on credit side. Okay, so you go to credit side of the revaluation account. Okay, and you have to write the opposite account from the revaluation account. Which is the opposite account from the revaluation account? Investment account. Investment account 30,000 rupees. So you go to credit side of the revaluation account and write buy investment account 30,000 rupees. Listen, so revaluation related transactions you have to post it into the ledger account, which means revaluation account from the journal entry. Okay, so after posted, now now we need to find out the profit or loss of the revaluation account. How can you find out the profit or loss of the revaluation account? To find out the profit or loss of the revaluation account, first we need to find out the total. How can you find out the total? Which side we have the higher value, that side we consider as the total. As per the format, credit side we have the higher value 30,000 plus 30,000, you get 60,000 rupees. On debtor side you have 12,000 rupees. So comparatively, debtor and credit side we have the higher value. So higher value can be considered as the total. So you enter the 60,000 on credit side. The same 60,000 rupees you have to enter on debit side in the same horizontal line. After you enter the total, you have to draw double line below the total, which denotes total. Okay, then comes to debtor side, that means lesser side. Now you are going to find out the difference between lesser value and the total. How can you find out the difference between? You have to subtract 12 sum of the lesser value, that means debtor side, sum of the debtor side, that means 10,000 plus 2,000, you got 12,000 rupees. Now you have to subtract 12,000 rupees from the 60,000, you get 48,000 rupees. That 48,000 rupees we consider as the total. Okay, listen, if you get the 48,000, you have to say as the balancing figure on debtor side. Listen, if you get the total on credit side, you will get the balancing figure on debtor side. If you get the total on credit side, you will get the profit on revaluation on debtor side. So that balancing figure you called as to profit on revaluation account. Okay, against the balancing figure 48,000, you should write to profit on revaluation account. Okay, after find out the balancing figure, immediately you are going to transfer that profit, that Listen, you got 48,000 profit on revaluation account. Immediately you have to transfer that 48,000 profit on revaluation into the all partners capital account with a old profit sharing ratio. What is the old profit sharing ratio? All the partners share their profit and losses equally. So you have to transfer that 48,000 into all partners capital account equally. That equally means 48,000 divided by 3, you got 16,000 each head. So Chandru's capital account 16,000, Vishwa's capital account 16,000 and Ramanan's capital account is 16,000 transferred from profit on revaluation account. Okay. So we prepared the profit on revaluation account in the ledger account. Okay. Now we have to pass that profit on revaluation account into the journal entry. So already we left some space for that. Okay. So what is the journal entry if you get the profit on revaluation account? Revaluation account at 48,000 to all the partners capital account. Okay, which means Chandru's capital account 16,000 to Vishal's capital account 16,000 and to Ramanan's capital account 16,000 entered. So from the given information, we passed journal entries and prepared revaluation account. Do you have any doubt? Please comment it into the comment box. Thank you. Take care.